Well, hello, faithful fans of the Real Estate Marketing Show. Today is episode number 30. We are totally celebrating this. That's a big deal. I don't think most podcasters ever get to episode 30. And we have an unbelievable special guest in the studio, Julie Odell in the blue. Oh, if you're watching, sorry. For those of you downloading,
For those
trust
of you
me.
that have ear sight.
Yeah, for those of you downloading, they're wearing nothing. So, Julie Odell, my wonderful co-host, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having
Putting
me.
me
I'm
up,
so
putting up with me
excited.
on all these
30.
episodes. And Deanna Miller, co-founder of Stark Social Media. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
We are very tight with Deanna and Stark Social. She builds our website. She does a lot of our social media, not only for real estate, but other industries. Deanna and I do the Stark Social Media, Stark and HomeSmart social media, 10-week social media series together for the past few years. And the list goes on and on and on how we're tied together. I think a great way to start this and keep your attention as agents, we're going to be talking about, 4 or 5 of the things that are changing and evolving in the social media world to survive in this business. And I emphasize survive. You need to be listening to this entire thing so you could take some notes and start preparing yourself. Deanna, really quick, talk about your podcast real quick so they know where to get it so they could see our past trainings.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So we have our podcast is the Social Life Podcast. We are releasing every other Wednesday new episodes, but we also have an app that you can search. So you can go into the Apple Store or Google Play Store and search for Stark Social, and you can get all of our past trainings that we've done. So every single webinar that we've done, all our recent podcasts, and in those podcasts we cover all different kinds of stuff from social media to web design to SEO, all kinds of marketing stuff, and sometimes we just jabber on about how we feel about things.
No, I,
Thank you.
I make sure and listen to it because I want to, stay on top of what's going on in the social media world, just technological world, obviously. But so agents, to make this very clear for you, Deanna's got how many episodes? Today, as of today,
Oh
which
my
is
gosh.
July 2017. You don't have to go digging through for it. She's got a junk load
We
of them
have
there
a
for you.
ton. It's like crazy.
But specifically our webinars that I want you guys to go back and listen to.
God, we have
There's about
tons of
35 of
webinars.
them maybe that are hour-long trainings that are free that can take you from novice, beginning to
Yeah,
advanced.
we have a ton.
Yeah,
like
that's-
looking through, there's 2015, 2016, 2017.
Yeah, so for the past few years. So I've literally had agents say these webinars have changed my life, changed my career, changed my attitude about technology and social media, and have made a whole lot of money. Right, Julie?
Absolutely.
Julie uses these a lot for training and helping agents when they come to her and say, I suck at this. And she goes, oh, well, we just happen to have a class for that.
It's so cool that we're even able to go back to the 2015 and then show them how it's evolved and where they have to make the changes and
Totally.
where they're still not embracing it.
Right,
And they're
right.
still asking the question, do I need a business page? And it's like, you guys,
Hey,
you need to
check
watch
the-
this
check-
podcast.
check this out.
In
Watch these
2015,
webinars.
we taught you how to like stuff.
Yeah, 2015, those are fun because it's a lot of basic stuff that is
Yeah.
still relevant, but at the same time, we can also say, okay, here's this one, and then here's this one. And this is how you're going to advance your presence on Facebook with these 3. And there is a lot of stuff that has changed and developed and gotten really cool over time. But just to get the basic stuff started, starting with those 2015 webinars, it'll get you rolling on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. I mean, we've covered Twitter,
Yeah. And
everything.
when you're coaching too, it's nice because we can actually break that down. So we can actually look at your social media, everything that you're doing, what platforms you're comfortable with, where you want to start. Obviously now you just have to start with Facebook and you just have to completely embrace that.
Right.
And then we'll kind of talk later about Twitter. We'll talk later about LinkedIn
Right.
so they can kind of, compartmentalize their training, which is the easiest way to do it.
Exactly. No, absolutely.
We have to do a new Feedly one because I just noticed they charged me $30 for the year again. Now I'm pissed and I'm going to use
Now
it.
you have to pay
So
for
now
it.
that you've paid, we have to do something
Yeah,
with
now
it.
we have to use it. It still sends me things because one of the tips and tricks you're going to learn right now here on the Real Estate Marketing Show is my past clients, sphere of influence friends. I type in Feedly their habits and their hobbies, and I get notifications, and then I share through private messages and on their Facebook wall, hey, I saw this about French bulldogs. I thought of you, and I thought maybe you'd like to read this article. And people are like, oh my God, that's so cool. It's a reason to reach out to your clients and past clients, and they go, oh my
Totally.
God, you're not asking to sell my house. You're giving me something of value. And of course, if it's one of their hobbies, you know how you are with hobbies. And there's millions of things out there, boating and skiing and camping, and God, it never stops. So sometimes there's so many, I don't even have enough time to do them all.
Absolutely. No, and I think that goes back to if you're paying attention to your clients' habits, their hobbies, their interests, that also helps you to
dog.
target things when you're doing advertising, but it also gives you an opportunity to build a relationship. And that's all social media is about, is engaging with your community. And when you're doing more understanding of your community and you're sending them something cool about their bulldog, or you're saying, hey, I know you just, started to look in the area. Here's some really cool stuff about moving. You can make it be as benign as like, I thought you might like this because I know you're into NASCAR. Like fun stuff that makes them know that you're paying attention to what they're doing, so that when they're going to sell a house or they're going to buy a house, or they have, their daughter who's a first-time home buyer, they're going to send them your way versus Googling it on the internet.
Yeah.
Right. And us as agents, we should be posting quite often, 2-3 times a day, at least on Facebook. And all my agents come to me and say, I don't know what to post. Well, if you have your Feedly set up for financial relevancy to real estate, you can tell people what's going on in the real estate world, where the market's going, where it's gone, statistics. And I'm not a big statistic guy, so I look all smart when I share, oh, this is what's happening. And people are like, oh, and then people call you on it. Oh, rates are going to go up. Oh, my God, I need to, I just read that article you shared, so let's talk about that.
Totally.
So there you go. That's your Feedly webinar.
There you
or
go. We're done.
podcast.
We're not going to do
Yeah.
it anymore.
All right, so let's get serious. There's probably 5 things that I want to go over,
Okay.
and a couple things that you just wrote down that we need to, as real estate agents, embrace. Right. So the most exciting thing to me that you just said that I didn't even know is targeting Facebook Live video. Touch on that. We don't need a full class, but let's touch on why agents are going to need to pay attention to that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I see more and more agents that I work with and that I don't work with doing Facebook Live. And I think what's really important to remember is that Facebook Live is your moment, at that moment, to reach whoever is on Facebook, whoever has liked your page, whoever has requested to get notifications of your stuff. So when you're using Facebook Live, you want to make sure that you're targeting your audience. And what's been really frustrating, I think, for a lot of us when we're doing Facebook Live videos is not having the ability to say, I want to target as well as I do with advertising.
Right.
So in the coming months, you're going to watch for it to happen, but there's going to be the opportunity to say, here's my ideal audience. And they're going to start rolling it out to people who do advertising, people that are posting a lot. So if you're not posting, get started, but it's going to let you say, here's my location. I want to target this radius. Here's
love that.
this age range. I want to target this audience. So you can start to do those really cool things with Facebook Live. So if you haven't, we're looking at Facebook Live videos. So if you haven't already started to use Facebook Live, or you're not advertising, or you set your business page up and now you're like, I don't know what to do with it. Do something with it so that you get that feature. That's really how Facebook does it, is they roll things out to the pages that are the most active. So if you're being active.
So I have to talk about this. So when
Yeah.
I was wine tasting the other day, we were at a winery with tons of dogs in it. And I thought that was so cool because
Dude, that's so cool.
it was a big deal to me because we were all in there hanging out with our dogs. Oh, wow. I guess we went straight to that. If you're watching, you can see that. So it was only a few seconds long, a few minutes long at the most, and there's 513 views. What do you think about 513 views for a 2-minute Facebook Live that had nothing to do with real estate? Do you think that's engaging? Do you think that's stupid?
No, I think that's fantastic.
Okay.
I think that's great because at that moment, or recently after that moment, you had 513 views of a video that was illustrating the kind of person you are in your personal life. And that's what it's all about, is getting people to know, like, and trust you. And people are getting to know you that are your friends on Facebook, that saw your Facebook Live video, that were engaged with it and saying, like, I'm going to keep watching this video, because Facebook only tracks those video views at 3 seconds, 10 seconds, so those people actually completed the video views, which is great.
Oh, so somebody could watch it 2 seconds, but it didn't track
and
it.
then wouldn't track it. But those are actual.
So I had
video-
thousands of views.
So you may have had more.
And they're like, this guy is super lame. He's
This is-
drunk at a wine tasting place.
I don't want this guy with the dogs
Block.
and the booze.
I'm a cat person.
Unfollow.
Yeah. Okay. And I get that all you agents want to go after I'm Facebooking live at my open house, and that's just sometimes it's just
Boring.
over.
You know,
I don't even know how to say it.
As
If you're not
client,
doing anything else, though, that's the problem.
Right,
If
balance, right?
If you've got friends, like if I'm friends with you and I didn't know you, and all it was open house, preview property, open house, preview property, it's like, oh, does this guy have a life?
Exactly.
That all he does is work.
Cram open houses down my face. All right. So since we're talking about video, you guys did this 40 under 40 challenge the other day.
Still waiting for your video.
I know. I just saw it. I'm like, oh crap, I forgot. Well, to be fair, I just got back from vacation, and I wanted to do it holding my 40 under 40 plaque.
Oh,
I almost
awesome.
did. I almost did that.
Awesome.
So if you guys are listening locally here in Santa Clarita where we live, the JCI's put together a 40 under 40, what a recognition every year. So you have to
Yeah.
be under 40 to be part of it. And they call me now an alumni,
Right.
which is the worst word you could ever use.
Well, all three of us are
Yeah, we are.
alumni.
Yeah, we're all
We're
alumni.
all alumni.
You guys are still under 40.
This is the first time they're doing an alumni
Alumni mixer.
So that was
So
kind of
that's-
the push. And actually,
yeah.
I've got a lot of people saying congratulations.
I know, I saw that, and I was like,
Everybody thinks you guys won the 40 under 40 thing
Right.
again.
I had people message me like, "That's so good. You won it again." I was like, "No,
Yeah.
but thank you."
Yeah.
But Julie was super excited and pointed
got
out
right
the
on
other
it.
day that she had 800 views, and now she's over 1,000 views on hers. So I'm like blown away. I'm like, okay, that's 1,000 people. It's talking about community. It's talking about charity. It's talking about recognizing other people. And that's not about real estate, right? That was about just who you are, helping, being part of the community. So if you did one fishing, they're getting to know you. If you're doing one about the community and this, they're getting to like you. And then when we start Facebooking Live, us doing a podcast, now they're getting to trust us as authorities. So that's kind of important. So I know, Deanna, you...
I'm
And the
looking.
fishing ones do always get more views, though.
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't like a good bass?
That's why I
You put them on
always
a
like-
string in a box.
You do the time lapse ones, and you really get it.
Yeah, there you go.
Where did I get
Where's Deanna's? All right, so Deanna obviously did one too, and basically there's thousands and thousands of views of people seeing Deanna's name, Julie's name, my name. And if you're a real estate agent and you get tagged in a video, or if you do a video and literally 2,000 to 3,000 people see your name, I'm going to say that's working for branding, right?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
And nobody could ever make fun of you or do anything, because that is a big deal. That is, boy, you post a lot. That is a,
It got 590 views.
all right, Julie smoked you.
I know, she totally did. She totally did.
But still, I mean, for Stark Social, that's amazing. For our community, that's amazing. And
I think it's great because I honestly, what I did was I picked my favorites, obviously. So we got to pick who we wanted to tag in our videos. But you want to make sure that you have, you know, I've heard it called a lot of things. HomeSmart calls it Smart Partners. I've heard it called Power Partners. I've heard it called a lot of things. But you want to make sure that you're working with people and connecting with people in the community that are supportive of your business and supportive of what you're doing in real estate. And make sure to give them shout outs every once in a while and support them. And doing a video like this or doing any kind of video is great to show. You know, maybe you have a favorite froyo shop, or you have a favorite restaurant that you eat at, or you have a favorite something, and you go do a video there and post it or do it Facebook Live, and then, you know, people love that stuff. The fishing, you're out at the winery, like we did one at the Jazz and Blues Festival the other night, and so those things always get way more views than when I'm just like sitting there talking.
right. I love that. Okay, so we talked a little bit about Facebook Live and targeting and how we should start getting comfortable with that. Video in general, we should start getting comfortable with that, especially when we could tie it in and tag people with community service, charity, things that are going to benefit your local community. I think that's extra huge. What else is happening with Facebook that we might need to start grasping or watching for?
Yeah, so Facebook this last year created a bunch of different ways to advertise. So we saw the invention in the ad of the the lead generation form. So that was huge for real estate agents
Let's break that down in 10 seconds.
in terms of being able to capture a lead with actual genuine information that people are using on social media. So we know that people generally will use an email that they use all the time for Facebook.
Right.
So they're not going to use one that they haven't logged into since they were a sophomore in college and they're not really sure how to get into it anymore. So with the invention of that lead generation ability, you're capturing actual live good contact information for somebody that you can then retarget through another ad, or you can use to contact and say, hey, I'm going to send you a great drip marketing campaign. A lot of times I've seen people using just the phone number and the name versus the email. So you're getting phone numbers. So that changed the way a lot of real estate agents are advertising. And it's so funny because I still have people who are like, is that still a thing? Is that a thing now? And it's like, yeah, it's a thing. What are you doing, man? You've got to be using those. But Facebook is going to continue to roll out more and more features like the lead generation ad. So we got a tiny preview in the community's webinar that they did this last week. And it's more really cool stuff like the lead generation tool. So the ability to do the lead gen ad with all different kinds of video, with like you talking and saying like, just fill out the form below and, we'll get in touch.
I love that. It's like your own little landing page.
It's basically taking away any of the excuses that anybody had before about I don't have a website, so I don't know what to do, or I don't have a landing page, or I don't have a huge marketing budget. So Facebook is adding new ways to advertise with video, new ways to use the lead generation tools. They're creating a whole new thing around Canvas that launched this year. So it's basically they're looking to keep everybody as in this one-stop shop of Facebook.
Between Google and Facebook, I just submitted my whole life away, that's for sure. So you mentioned something a second ago that's fascinating to me, and it's we're talking about budget, and specifically Facebook budget. Let's talk real quick about what we should expect, what a normal real estate agent should do. So I'm at about the $3,000 a month budget right now. To some people, they're like, oh, no, you got to bump that up to 10 grand. And to some people are like, oh, no, I couldn't even imagine spending $1,000 on Facebook. I think my particular business, if I had to track I do track. And I think between community involvement in Facebook, I don't think there's been a year in the last 5 years where we haven't sold 50 homes off of Facebook, which generates about $500,000 worth of income to me. So if I'm going to spend 24 grand or 36 grand a year, 3 grand a month, I think the return on investment's quite good.
Absolutely.
I couldn't even calculate that in my mind. So every time I say this, I say, what am I doing? I need to bump it up to 10,000 a month, right? And really go at it and have hundreds of transactions. But I wanted to point out to the agents that ROI is good, it's real, and it only gets better because the agents that embrace it are doing it, and the agents that aren't. And the other big thing I'm getting is, well, everybody's doing it, so I don't want to look just like everybody else. So those two things. Let's talk about budget. What do you think?
Yeah.
What are people inside your real estate world doing, outside your real estate world? I mean, I talked to a girl on her Shopify site the other night that spends 10 grand a month and is ready to double it because it's working so well. What are you seeing out there?
Yeah, so I see, I think the average agent that, my recommendation is that you should have anywhere from $300 to $500 if you're just getting started a month to spend, and get comfortable with that, because you want to say, all right, in 90 days, I'm going to bump that up $200. So if you're going from 3, it's 5 to 7, and you should really be looking at what your goals are in terms of what did you do the year before in terms of sales? What do you want to do this next year in sales? And then take that money. And a lot of people that I talk to are like, oh my God, that's so much money. $500 is like, that's ridiculous. But
they'll spend it at Michael's doing little Popeye gifts, and it's like, you guys, the time that it took to do that.
Well,
don't do that.
Hold on. We love Popeye gifts. You need to do both, people.
I love them.
It's not a lot when they're spending it at the cash register.
Well,
it should be the opposite.
Here's the funny story that I got. So I had somebody who was doing these like really fancy Popeye gifts, so cute, loved them. But then I said to her, how many deals did you get from those last year? How many deals did you get from them? Oh, well, None, actually. Okay. So you're going to take that money that you spent, you're going to give it to me for 3 months, and I'm going to show you what it can do. And it was so funny that we went and we split it between Facebook advertising, LinkedIn advertising, and doing some really cool banner ads through Google AdWords and on blogs. And, you know, her inbox is like flooded. And she's like, so I didn't have to do all that? I was like, no, you can do both.
Yeah,
now you have
can.
enough money to throw away on your pop-by gifts and all
Stop
kinds of
saying
cool
that.
stuff.
No,
But
they aren't typically consistent with those things either, and that's
Right.
the hardest
And
part for me too,
Facebook,
is because you'll also see them spend $500 at Michael's, do it one time.
right.
It was so time consuming, and then they're not consistent with it.
And here's my famous thing I like to say. Work smarter, not harder. We can legitimately do all this we're talking about, except for the video, in our underwear.
Oh,
Going
totally.
to Michael's,
Just put a
putting
shirt on.
500 things together, and delivering those. It's 106 out today. I mean, that's not working smarter, not harder. I
Right.
do believe a pop-by should be done every 60 to 90 days in congruency, if that's a word, with Facebook advertising.
Absolutely.
I think it's all branding. If they're not going to call you this second to buy or sell a house, but the odds go up tremendously. So if we're talking about online lead conversion,
Right.
if we're going to have 20 leads, or let's say 40 leads, we know one will buy. And I am consistently seeing through Facebook advertising, 3, 4, 500 a month. So we're actually turning and birding Facebook ads a lot, and it's part of branding too. Somebody sees me 2-3 times a month on Facebook, they're gonna be, oh, he's top of mind. He's my agent. He's the guy I'm gonna call.
Totally.
And when you get that pop by, it's a warm fuzzy. But I think doing that with your past clients is, I think it's super important. So let's know you guys can always reach out to Deanna or myself or Julie and talk about budgets and how we should split those up. We have no problem answering those questions. We'd love to reply to you. So with that being said, the next thing I want to talk about that's still kind of a hot word, and we've touched on it subconsciously, retargeting.
Oh, retargeting.
So everybody
My
now has heard of a
favorite.
pixel. Everybody
I
now
hope
who
so.
doesn't know how to use one. I can still barely use one, but is retargeting a thing? Is it played out? Is it here to stay? Is it what new things are we doing with that in conjunction with adding our past client database, our sphere of influence? Where are we at with retargeting, and is it still a thing? Is it going to remain a thing?
I think it's always going to be a thing. I think it's just going to continue to get better on Facebook because they're always continuing to add and fine tune the way that their algorithm works for that. So I've started to notice that they're adding new interests, they're adding new things to target hobbies, interests, income, all kinds of cool stuff. If you've updated your audiences at all recently, you'll notice that there's they actually break down income levels differently now. So you can actually pick like ranges, but then you can also pick over 100,000 versus like I had before you had to pick 100 to 200, 200 to 300, 300 to 400, and that would get time consuming.
Yeah.
So now they've changed the way that they do it. But there's also a lot of tools that Facebook has opened up their API to. So that means there's a lot of new tools out there that you can use to retarget, and you can kind of do this really neat set it and forget it thing. So you can take all of that data from Facebook and from your website, and there's tons of tools out there now. There's AdRoll, there's AdEspresso, where basically they create the ad for you, or you have a professional create it for you, and then you can set and forget these banner ads that just run all the time.
Right. So I want to be clear about how the different APIs work with other companies. So agents, you want to understand and visualize this. Your Facebook advertising will now land on other websites, not on Facebook. So if you're on like you said, a blog,
Right.
or especially an advertisement or a website for another retail place or something, it's pretty impressive to where I was like Home Depot's website the other day, and I was seeing one of my friend's Facebook ads. I'm like, God, that is
Yeah.
so powerful.
Yeah, it's actually pretty funny when you're like scrolling through Curbed LA and like you see your client's ad on the bottom or like in the corner. It's like, oh, that's cool. We got good placement.
It's really amazing, and I would imagine that works with algorithm too.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
more views you get, the better websites you get put on.
Absolutely. And I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of things that Facebook is adding. So they're adding a lot of things with like what was it that they were just talking about? So even if you're not taking advantage of an off of Facebook tool to do your retargeting, they're offering a lot of new things where if you look at the different boxes that you can check when you're finishing the ad, they're starting to roll out like, outside ad placement is a box you can check. So then you can also
I haven't
see
even seen
yourself being featured on like Home Depot or Curbed or local sites. So like they're going to feed you to different blogs and things like LA Times has its own blog and you can get featured on there if you're selecting that. But remember, you have to want to play with a budget. So a $10 ad isn't going to get you as much play as a $50 2-week ad would get you on those sites. So you're going to have to explore a little bit of a bigger budget with your retargeting advertising for sure.
Awesome. So basically, we're going to use this podcast as, hey, what are the classes we're going to have to do coming up?
I
again?
know. I was actually just thinking like, that's going to be a good next one.
No. So, all right. What else do we have? I think we've covered, 3 or 4 already?
Yeah.
I promised them 5. What's the next one?
So the next thing I wanted to remind everybody, we talked about it in our webinar that it was probably coming, but it's launched since we did LinkedIn. They've updated their targeting, so you can actually target zip codes and area codes and cities now versus Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's really
or
huge.
State of California. So that's really big for real estate agents. If you have set up a business page on LinkedIn and you've been kind of frustrated with not sure what to do with it, they've made it a lot easier and a lot more budget friendly, thank goodness, to boost individual posts. So they call it sponsor and update. So it's the same thing as Facebook as boosting a post. So if you post a listing or you've got an open house, you can now target much more directly with that. So check it out because when you go into your ad account on LinkedIn, it says, have you seen the new features? And it'll walk you through the features. So it's a really cool update. And they have blown my mind because I feel like they were listening.
So you're probably not the only one yelling at them. So real quick, what would an agent do? You said an open house ad or a listing ad. What other kinds of things would we advertise on LinkedIn?
Oh my gosh, all kinds of stuff. So you could do like market updates, do a market update video and post it on LinkedIn. You can now, they've opened up authorship on LinkedIn. So now everybody can write a blog post on LinkedIn. So if you don't have a blog and you have all this great content you want to write about the market, you want to write about new construction, you want to write about the kinds of services that you offer that separate you from any other agent in your area, you can write about those things and then publish them and then make it an ad campaign, sponsor that update.
Can you use video?
You totally can.
Do you have to have that on Vimeo or YouTube, or can you upload the
No,
video
you can
directly
upload it native to LinkedIn now. So they've changed all kinds of stuff this last quarter, which is really impressive to those of us who are struggling with marketing on it, especially those of us who still take the classes and we're like, I still don't get it. But so they're making it a lot easier to do a lot of cool stuff. So if you want to make LinkedIn and Facebook your hubs for knowledge, you can decide which one is more important to you, but I always recommend Facebook and LinkedIn.
Right.
For sure. And then check out what you can do with those. It's really easy to find it now. If you go to your profile, it says publish a post and you just click on it and it opens it up. And it's just like
Guess I need to get back on LinkedIn.
It's just like filling in a WordPress blog now. So you can add pictures to it. You can add video. That's not hard.
Now you got agents writing code again.
It's not
This
hard.
is why you called Deanna to do your ads for you, people. She just literally said it's easy to write code like WordPress.
Oh, it's not. No, it's not code. It's so simple. I swear. I promise. You can add media really easy.
Well, I cannot believe how fast this went by. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. Furman, do we have time for part 2? We have 2 minutes. Wow. No, after this, I mean.
Yep.
Okay. Well, then, Deanna, do you have time for a part 2?
I do have time for a part 2.
All right. So this is episode 30. Thank you so much for coming by. That's been
Thank you.
unbelievable information. As always, mind-blowing, but really important agents. This is just crazy. Julie, what do you have to say to the agents out there after what you heard today?
Oh, you have to come to our live session
No.
when Deanna will be in person, or we'll also have that recorded and added to
Our
real estate
YouTube
marketing
channel,
show,
yeah,
our YouTube
absolutely.
channel, our training channel. Deanna is a pivotal part in our training. So
Whoa, that was a
Thank
really cool
you.
sentence. Deanna's a pivotal part.
I'm going
I
to
love
take
it.
that and slap it on my website.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm the pivotal person.
I'll do a Facebook Live video.
There we go. All right, you guys. So thank you for listening to episode 30. As always, thanks for rating us, sharing us with all these other agents that don't know what the heck they're doing out there that you actually care about and want to see last in the business. And have a great day. Bye, guys.